Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and today I have a double open box video for you. Call this the Dueling Banjos edition here. If you didn't know, NGC and PCGS boxes have a different size to them, and people really prefer that smaller size of that PCGS box in lots of ways. I got these boxes back at the same time. I thought it'd be fun to kind of compare how coins are coming back at the same time from PCGS and NGC. We got mostly dollars in both of these, and so we're just gonna let her rip. So I hope you got some popcorn popping, and we're gonna start with this lovely 82S and a PCGS holder that I loved the overall look and eye appeal to, even though I thought technically it might only come back a 4. It was a raw coin from an album. I thought it's a pretty coin. Has really nice fields to it. And, you know, the kind of thing that I like to get going. So, of course, it came back questionable color. I wish I need a bell over here to ring. You know, ding, ding. Questionable color. So, you know, that's just fantastic. That's one of our, that is one of our mottos here. It's one of our membership levels also for those of you who help help support us and watch extra videos. Questionable color and environmental damage are the two. Oh, look at that. That's happy. This coin's got a couple of k's on the back there. There's a CC, a 78cc. You can almost always tell the 78cc because the CCs are so small, but also that's not only on the 78, but really pretty coin. Just a touch of PL at an angle. No, you know, nowhere near an actual proof-like quality. The obverse has just a tinge of it going on also. Real clean fields. MS63 on this guy. You know, it's probably maybe about a $600 coin. I actually think this is pretty strong for the grade. You know, it's not the type of thing that has any real big distracting marks to it. And yeah, nice coin. Nice looking piece here. All right, PCGS, here's an 1897 Philly. And really a high grade coin. Sent that in because those fields are just like butter. Really nice looking fields. You know, you can see the contact marks that you run into. You know, it's the problem though when you put a 10 power loop on something. By the way, really grading should be done mostly with a 5 power loop. I know some guys, old school guys, they'd use a 3. You want the coin to stand on its own because you look too close and everything's got big divots in it. All right, so this is an MS65 Plus, you know, and quite the jump. I mean, this, you know, it goes from like a $300 coin to a $1,000 coin from 5 to 6. And it's the type of coin that's not rare in uncirculated grades, but you start getting into those more high mint state grades, and all of a sudden it becomes really difficult to come by. Here's another nice bold looking 1881. And some of you already know what mint this is. I mean, you can just kind of tell by the way the rim, the denticles look. There's just something about the way that an 81 Carson City looks. And you can see what I was talking about with the CC size between these two coins. Not only is the bird a little different, but then your CC on the 81 and then on the 78. This coin also I thought was a pretty high grade coin, and actually MS64, a nice grade. Not a huge spread on these from 4 to 5. You know, maybe a $700 to $1,000, you know, price points respectively. But really a nice example for the grade. Nice white if you're looking for white. It's a good looking piece. We're going to switch. I said mostly Morgans. Some of you guys saw this coin in a video that I had done, an open box video that I had. And this 3-legger was in there, and it's got all kinds of stuff going on. You know, the whole point about sending this in is that you want to be able to get it in a holder saying it's authentic, which it is, and that's really the most important part on this coin. Extra fine details, lots of they call it corrosion removed. There's still a lot of corrosion there, and that coin, I don't know what that coin's worth. A few $100, $500, I don't know. Hard to say exactly. All right. Oh, this one's intriguing. So this is an 1888S. Also had a little bit of that proof-like finish to it. You can see it throughout, but then it was also kind of eaten up here on the cheek and whatnot. But just had a really neat overall sheen to it. Like sometimes the proof-like finish is only in the fields. I think that's how I would describe the difference between how this coin looks compared to some that I see. But then you get ones where there's proof-like finish is really visible throughout the all of the different areas where there's design and engraving, right? So around the ears and the hair, you can start to see just that touch of PL. It's got a really cool finish to it. MS62 on this 88S, kind of a different looking coin. Maybe about a $500 coin on this guy. 88S is a better date. In case I didn't mention, a lot of the coins in here are going to be better or semi-better, right? And so here by way of comparison is an 89S, also a coin that's a little bit tougher to get in the higher grades. Another coin that has a little bit of jump from one grade to the next, but not a big jump. This one they called MS64, maybe about an $800 coin. Maybe I just can't read my own handwriting. I think actually maybe they do double in 65. I think I got that. I think I had that wrong. I think these do jump in 65. Nice looking coin for the grade. Again, something with a gentle tone to it. Kind of unique. A little bit of that just off-white color here. It has what looks like a strike through right on the cheek. A little worm mark right there. It's like a strike through, like it's struck through a piece of metal or something. Right in the middle of the screen there. Really pretty coin though. For anyone who's looking for that for their type set, I think it'd do well, or for their date set. We're going to stick with the theme here of these S-mint marks right now. So it's really interesting because the 86S, this is a coin that I oftentimes just kind of overlook. I don't mean overlook it literally, but I think about the 83S, 84S, 85S. For some reason, I never think about the 86S and how tough it is to get, but it's actually harder to get than like an 85S in uncirculated grades, especially nice looking ones. This one has that bright sheen and luster to it, a little bit like that 88S did. Easy for you to say. MS62. So this one has a lot of little chatter. It doesn't have any big marks to it, but it's a lot of this little stuff. You can see when the lines kind of get sideways there, they look a little bit like a cabinet mark, cabinet wear across the cheek. That's really what's keeping this coin from being a higher grade. Because if you just look at the fields and you don't look at it close, you might miss those little fine hairlines. That's the type of stuff that can really keep a coin from being a gem coin. That coin is about a $500 piece on that guy. Oh, here we go. This will give us a chance to compare notes, shall we? 1881, Carson City. You have to tell me which one you like more because we just had one of those down in here. A little bit different look to both of them. All right. I think I like... There's things about the one on the right, the NGC coin, that I like better. But I think overall I really prefer this PCGS coin. And also came back at 64. So that is really a nice looking coin, man. Bright white. I mean, for the really originality, from an originality standpoint, you can just kind of see the difference a little bit on these two. How the one on the right just has a touch of like fadedness to it, I'll say. I don't know that I'd call that tone over, but train your eye, take a look at that and see. Remember what you want them to look like. I think that's a good thing to do. Remember what you want them to look like. I got to keep making room here because we got some coins to look at. 92S. Tough date. Tough date. A coin that a lot of guys will put in their holder just in, you know, like a VG or something, because the higher grades are tougher. So on this guy, you know, a lot of coins we've been looking at have been uncirculated. Let's look at a coin that has a nice amount of wear to it and talk about, you know, you've got some luster stuck in the crevices here still, but overall it is mostly no luster. You can see just a little bit of luster going around the United States of America, and just a touch around the stars in the E Pluribus Unum XF45. Nice looking coin overall, a little bright, like it's the type of coin that's a judgment call to me as to whether or not you call a coin like that cleaned. I've had lots of coins that look kind of like this come back cleaned. You know, that's approximately a $700 coin in that grade. We're coming on back to the CCs, 85cc. You know, these coins are really pretty cool. They had a pretty low mintage on them. And this one is another one that has a very nice original look to it. Now, unlike the 81cc we just looked at, this has just a little bit of that toning over the top, which some people won't like, but overall the originality is there. A nice looking coin. And MS64. Overall, you know, $700-800 coin. The next grade up on this guy isn't that much of a jump. Those are the ones that have a pretty similar price point through and throughout those higher UNC grades. Okay, so this one's interesting. This is a 92cc, and how much wear is there? Right, for those of you who can't see it, there's definitely some breaks in the luster of the field, so between the face and the lettering. And I will say, made you look at that. You know, 92cc's come proof-like, and I've owned a bunch of them, and the high-grade ones seem to be proof-like a lot. And partially, when you have a limited run, you'd expect to have more proof-like coins in general, but also depends on, you know, the other things that go into the striking process. Really intrigued by this coin though, because I thought that the coin was all there. I mean, what I'm getting at is they called it a 55, and you know, I guess it's these fields kind of look like they got something going on them, but on the reverse looks new. Like if you just handed me this, I'd say we'll call that a 61 or something, right? Also, you know, you'll notice that there's no PL on here, which, you know, this coin is PL. I mean, it just is. This is probably a $1,400 or $1,500 coin, and neat coin. I mean, really, this is the type of coin that if you had a raw album, it'd be kind of a fun coin to crack out and put into your raw album. Speaking of raw coins and album coins, how about this 1893 from the New Orleans Mint? Here's another coin that had a pretty low mintage to it. You know, a lot of the coins in the 1890s have really low mintages on them, and the 1893s, I should say. Just a nice, evenly worn coin. Good for. That one I'm kind of intrigued by because really, you've got a full rim there and a good amount of detail. You know, I would have thought that maybe it would come back a 6 instead of a 4, but you know, that's something we don't talk a whole lot about on those. But usually there's not many circulated coins that we get in that are worth certifying. And, you know, and that makes all the difference on that, is, you know, the overall condition and value. When the value's not there, it's hard to really get stuff certified. All right, we're going to stay in the 1890s, 1893s even. 1890, this is 93 Philly. So that in 1893 O had a mintage of 300,000. The 93 Philly, 378,000. Back to that 85cc, those guys only have mintages of 228,000. So here we go again with a coin that has a little bit of wear. So this one you can tell compared to that 92cc that there's luster missing generally speaking, in this area between the eagle and the wreath. So, and this one is a 55 as well. Now, they have different finishes to them, and there's some stuff going on here in both. Once again, there I am with my plastic remnants that are getting everywhere. So you can see overall the loss of luster here. So this one I liked is a 55. This guy's I think about $1,000 type coin on that guy, give or take. All these, I'm just throwing out, you know, round numbers on these. They're not exact. Who knows? Who knows when you watch this? Okay. 1893. Let's try 1893 one more time. So 1893, Carson City. This is a wild coin. Just a wild coin. First of all, weakly struck, and CCs are halfway missing. Okay, so the arrows and all this stuff here, that is flat from strike, just a flatly struck coin. Also, though, the super high sheen on this whole coin, it's been polished. And sometimes we like to say it's a Polish proof. You can see the hairlines flapping through here. Look in front of her face. And see, all of a sudden it goes to white there. Those are the fine hairlines popping up. You know, and it's the type of thing you only see really at certain angles. Anyways, wild coin has a relatively high grade to it with a flat strike. This look over the ear. When you see a coin that looks like it's strong on the edges and soft in the middle, that's usually a strike issue. Strong edges, soft middle. But also the hairlines cleaning. AU details harshly cleaned. Just a wild looking coin. I'm not really sure what this coin's worth. Maybe we'll just auction it off. You know, these coins in just VG are very good, are $400, $500 coins. AUs are $3,000 coins, and so the price point's going to be between those two numbers, right? That's how it is. And the 1895S, another scare state on your Morgan series. This guy also will remind you a little bit of one we looked at a minute ago. Similar in that you've got just those trace amounts of luster around the edges. So through the words United States of America and the dollar, but there's lots of wear on there still. And just like the other one, this one came back extra fine, 45. Mintage of 400,000 on this guy. And this guy, I mean, that's like a $2,000 type coin on that. That's a really tough coin to get. 95.0. All right, another one that you've got that is a scare state. This one is really also very clearly polished. XF details polished. You'll see, you know, when you polish a coin, it becomes harder to tell sometimes some of the intricacies of what's going on because polishing a coin will remove the luster, and then you just have to go off of the detail and hope you can tell based on strike what the detail is. So this guy here, you know, extra fine's like $600, VG's $250, something like that. So that's going to be a tweener. Like I said, maybe these problem coins we'll just throw on eBay and let them go. Speaking of problems, I've got a problem, and the solution is more cowbell. Here we got this 96S. Another coin that is a little trickier to find than I normally give it credit for, because, you know, I think of a lot of these coins in the 90s, these 90s S's, and for some reason I always skip the 96 and 86, and I don't know why. But this coin uncirculated is thousands of dollars, and then, you know, if you want to get a gem coin, it just like goes crazy, go nuts, right? So 96S, they called this one AU details cleaned, and a little bright, and so I get it from that standpoint. It's hard sometimes, like I said, on there's the one extra fine that I thought was kind of a judgment call that you could have called cleaned maybe because it has this kind of a similar look to this. This one's kind of cool because it's got a little bit, just a touch of a proof-like finish to the back. you know, AUs, depending on how nice of an AU, or $1,000 or $2,000 type coins. Lower grade coins though on 96Ss aren't all that expensive. So, you know, like I said, maybe we'll just put this one up on the eBay and let it ride and see what happens. Ride, Sally, ride. Okay, well this is fun. Here's a 97S, and this will remind you a little bit of a couple coins we've already looked at. In so much as it has a lot of shininess to it, a little bit of a proof-like finish, and you can see how all of those little marks on the field just kind of pop up with that proof-like finish. Also, some interesting little bit of staining on the back of this coin. You know, I mean toning, right? Well, call it what you will. So what's interesting is they actually put a PL on this, which is kind of fun because I have such a hard time actually getting a proof-like on anything. Sometimes it feels like, and so this is probably about a $300 coin ballpark. They do come, so coins, the reason some coins in PL and, you know, proof-like and dimple get really expensive a lot of times has to do with just how often they come proof-like, and some coins come proof-like more than others. Here we go, 1903, San Francisco. So the latter half of the Morgan series, really pretty tough on those S-mints. Hard to get legit nice coins. This coin looks an awful lot like those XF45s we had, XF40. Touch more wear. I'm good with the grade. I think it's a nice grade, nice coin. Lots of detail. Nice even color to it. Better color than some of those other ones, in my opinion. And that's a $700 plus type coin on the 03S. Okay, 1900 O. So on these guys, always we're looking for the Carson City to pop up underneath the O. You'll see a couple little C's, but this is just the O. A little bigger hits there in a couple areas, but the fields are overall pretty nice on the reverse of the coin. 1900 O, they call this one a 64. More common date, $100 type coin or so, but a little bit more common date. We're going for maybe trying to get a 5 out of a coin like that, but probably a little bit too much contact on the backside. Back to tougher dates, this 04S, this one's tricky because it's got some staining going on. Reminds me a lot of that XF45s that we had there. Maybe a little bit more luster, a little bit less wear. And sometimes we talk about coins getting net graded. You know, you can see a little scuffiness throughout the field here. You know, in net grade, there's, Annex will actually say net grade on it, but there's the old school net grade where a coin, so like this coin has less wear than those XF45s, but yeah, maybe similar. They call this AU details cleaned, and I think I would rather they've just called it an XF40 and just, you know, that's like an unofficial net grade. I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to just like try this one with PCGS for no good reason. But AU money on that coin is really tough. I mean, you're talking about a $1,200 plus coin on there. Okay. Super tough guy here, ONS. You know, these are available more so than like the 03S or the 04S in higher grades. But just a little bit of a break in the luster on this guy. Nice luster most places. Little scuffiness. You can see it starts to lose luster in between. See, it looks white when you got the light right on it, but then you see it goes dark right there in between. So not uncirculated, just a touch of wear to it. AU58. Good coin, good looking coin, nice grade. You know, $600 or $700 coin. A nice MS63 coin will cost you $1,200, $1,300. So, oh, this is not a Morgan dollar, but this is a nice looking 2.5. We sent this guy in because, you know, it was a nice looking 2.5. Really pretty fields. You know, a couple little hairlines there, but intriguing coin overall. It's got also a couple little lines on it on the back right there under the word states, leading the jury here a little bit, but still, You know, they called it Unk Details reverse scratch. Now, the irony is not the right word here, but what's interesting to me is that there are lines here above the by the stars that I'm looking at right now. You can see them, they kind of pop up. You know, so, you know, I thought maybe, you know, it comes back as 62, 63. A couple more lines back here on the back, but I'm intrigued that they call it reverse scratched, because, you know, those little scratch type marks, they don't really seem like scratches. And also, I thought the ones on the obverse were more obvious than the ones on the reverse. I just work here. 030, formerly known as the rarest Morgan dollar until they were found in a big hoard. This is actually one of the lower grade 030s that I've had, an MS63. These coins are much more rare circulated than uncirculated. It's actually, if you try to put a low ball set together, it's one of the hardest coins to get. That's probably a $700-800 coin on that guy. And here we go, AU55. I just showed the grade before I showed the coin because, you know, I'm getting new at this here. Interesting looking coin. Not a ton of luster to it. I actually thought maybe it would come back a 50, not a 55. I think that coin does not have enough luster on it, in my opinion. So that coin is I don't think that coin's mine. I think that's somebody else's. Time to check my notes. And a peace dollar just for the fun of it, because 1934S. Actually, I got two. I'm going to go ahead and pull these both right away. Take a look. We're almost ready to wrap her up. If you work through your popcorn, you can maybe go get a soda. Maybe start some more popcorn. These are interesting. 34S, tough coins. And AU53, AU55. So let's look a little closer. Big jumps. I mean, a few $100 on one and 500, 600 on the other. So I think they nearly double for the points. You can see the luster flow across the field here pretty nicely, and a little bit of wear. And you know, it's interesting to me sometimes. You can really see things better on one side of the coin than the other. Look at the luster on that guy is just a little bit nicer. Now the wear you don't notice, right? Because both coins look pretty similar as far as like as overall detail goes. You know, it's almost between a 3 and a 5, 53 and 55. It's almost just a tale of two lusters, because the wear factor is almost nil on those coins. And so one will be like 300 or 400, one will be 500 or 600. All right, as long as we're comparing coins, shall we? Two of the American Sesquicentennial 1926 coins. So for those of you who are good at math or know what the word sesquicentennial means, that's the 150th anniversary of the Declaration, 1776 to 1926. Really cool depiction on these coins. One of my favorite designs. Look at that. One of the neat things about these is you know, once again, you have the fields that are not quite smooth. They have just a little bit of wrinkle. There's these rays that shoot out from the back of the building like sunlight glowing. And they're just so subtle. So very, very subtle. So we got a 64 and a 61. The 61, so the difference between these coins is the 61. When I talked before about net grading on that 2.5 Indian or on some other stuff that we've looked at, this guy had, I'm trying to remember where it went, kind of like a little bit of a scratch to it somewhere. And that kind of had kept it back. I'm trying to remember where when I looked at it before, I said, oh, that's got a mark on it that's going to hold it back. Of course, that was months ago when I sent the thing in, so now I'm having a hard time seeing it. But I'm sure it's there on that one, because this one is the one that had a much nicer look to it overall, nicer luster. So anyways, guys, that's like a whole lot of coin action Bonus coin 010, like this coin I sent in also. Oh, this is like the coin we started with. Remember that 82S at the beginning? You can rewind the video, or I can just pull this out. The color palette, not the same color palette, a little bit different. MS62, the only reason this is just to show you, the color palette is a thing to learn, right? I liked this coin for the eye appeal. It's just kind of an odd coin, purple, kind of a little bit of a purple haze. So not a high grade coin, just kind of for fun. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.